in the sometimes. So the separate waste collection is not very implemented, but not because it's just because there are not many bins and not many. So I would like to give value to these wastes and to say to people, if you separate the wastes properly, you will bring it to me and you will wash your clothes for free.
Okay.
This laundry center gives for free, gives a service for free. So this center it costs about $100,000. So is I intend to fund this Eco Laundry Center with an NFT campaign. But so everybody can decide to make an Eco Laundry Center in their neighbor. But it's important to assess this thing. No? So everybody can decide to say, for example, I would like to make this Eco Laundry Center in Ghana, in Ivory Coast. So I put in the system, in the scheme, in my website, a certain data, for example, the temperature, the amount of people that live in that area, certain characteristics, and I can quickly assess if it is feasible or not. Then after that, we can contact directly the Eco Laundry Center, and then together we can make after this, let's say, first evaluation is made, we can proceed in the other part.
Your microphone keeps on fading.
Yeah. I think it's the internet connection, because today it's terrible. I don't know what is happening. Maybe this I don't know, probably the weather. Anyway, so everything is written in the link that I sent you. I would like to create this this way to assess this Eco Laundry Center and start also the first campaign. I would like to also to find some way to interact with the other community, and everything is on their way. Well, today I made this I designed it. I completed the application, and that's it. I just wanted to come here to check it out.
Yeah. So okay. So in a nutshell, let me say this. Maybe after saying this, it will help you, sort of determine whether exactly your challenge or your proposal fits to the challenge setting, or it doesn't really fit to it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I wanted to explore if it actually fit the dApp, or maybe some other, for example, business to.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a short presentation, and then I'm sure after the presentation you are going to be able to tell whether your proposal fits or not. Because honestly, I don't know if it is the internet or whatever. I'm hardly hearing you, so I'm unable to assess whether exactly your proposal fits in, as I'm supposed to be able to assess right now. So let me just do the quick presentation, and then afterwards, you can be able to tell whether it does or it does not. Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right. Yeah. So, Richmond, please share your screen for me.
The presentation of my okay. So
no, not you.
Oh,
I have.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, so I think he's preparing the slide, so you'll be sharing very soon. Yeah. Whilst he prepares the slide, basically, nation building dApps is actually seeking for people, okay, who are who are looking to solve problems. And the problem I'm talking about here is that we want problems or we want solutions to let me just try and reframe. Okay, so with nation building dApps challenge, we are seeking to solve the question what core nation building dApps solutions can be provided for widespread users acquired in the developing world. Okay, so there are so many apps, or there are so many dApps going on here and there, and particularly for some developing worlds, they don't have the basic foundation. Okay, you don't have the basic foundations to stand on and then build something good. So, for instance, in some countries, land title may be a problem there. Okay, there might be problems with land registration. Basically, that is the process. Let me talk about that. So, we want dApps which are going to sort of be a solution to these problems, whereby people will not have to go through the problems of land registration anymore. And if I say people, I'm trying to refer to mostly the less privileged or the marginalized people. You understand? Even though those who are not marginalized can also make use of this particular dApp, but we are really interested in targeting those who are marginalized. So how can we help those who are marginalized, okay, to sort of enjoy amenities or services that people who are not marginalized are actually paying for? You understand? So like these marginalized people don't have, because they don't have money, they are unable to actually enjoy these services that basically come from government. Okay, so why do we say this challenge is very, very relevant for Catalyst? We say this because for the poor nations with no basic foundations, nation building dApp solutions will be the building blocks enabling sustainable prosperity. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to encourage Cardano blockchain solutions that will be able to provide nations with decentralized infrastructure by eliminating a single point of failure, okay, protecting national, corporate, and individual data, and then property and assets. You understand? And then hence, we want to encourage proposers, or we want to advise proposers that they need to review, Imego or IAHK, their Atala Prism solution. So, for whatever system you're going to build, at least you need to have the Atala Prism solution in there, okay? And then, you need to also learn about how they have been able to integrate some registry system applications, okay, across some worldly nations. And then further, you need to obtain a knowledge base over a research that was done by Hernando de Soto, that is 3 decades ago, that's 30 years ago. And the research was basically about unraveling the mysterious causes of poverty in third world countries. Okay, so you need to also at least try and read about it. If you visit the challenge setting on Ideas Go, you will get a link to that particular research. You get a link to the video, you watch it, and then you try and frame something around it, basically. And then also we want proposers to take a little time to some of the proposals that have successfully been funded under this challenge. And there are 10 proposals that were funded in Fund 7 under Nation Building dApps Challenge. So if you have the time, I would advise that, okay, Richmond is now showing the screen. Okay, so Richmond, please go to page 2, slide 2 for me. And if you can make it a full screen slide as well, I think that would be great. So as I was saying, we advise that you try and go through the proposals that were funded in Fund 7. At least they will give you a clear indication of what this particular challenge is looking for. Okay. So as I said earlier, basically we are looking for dApps that are going to provide or help us bring an end to marginalized poverty. Okay. So we need to do that. That is basically what we are doing. And from another point of view, you may think of this challenge as a challenge that is receiving proposals that seek to solve governmental problems. because I think in Fund 6, if you read the challenge 13, that was it. That at the end of the day, the government should be able to adopt your solution and then make it like put it in use basically, and then we'll call it a success. But for Fund 7, we are not really concentrated on the government. We are rather concentrated on the individual citizens. So if individual citizens are able to accept your proposal, are able to accept your project and adopt it, we will call it a success. Because at the end of the day, if you say government is not just the officials who are sitting in the high seats, in the parliament houses.
For example, in my case, I wanted to bypass because I know that sometimes the public sector in certain countries, especially, for example, in Africa, but not only, also in other, in Brazil is the same. It's very slow also. I mean, it takes a lot of time. For example, infrastructure for waste management takes so long to be built. In this way, decentralized, if the decentralized waste management system, it could be easier or faster to build a waste more capillary waste management system, more distributed, smaller but more distributed. Also, the other problem is that the wastes must to run in the streets. You know, in Africa, the streets are overcrowded, so there is a lot of traffic. So it's very difficult to move this waste, that they have to work all night or the waste stay there. In this way, it's much easier because the organic waste are processed in a fermentation system locally on the ground, and then the separate wastes are moved at night, so there is not a lot of waste because it's more distributed, so they can be moved at night. It's easier. The dApp, my only concern is that my system is more related to the physical world, and the dApp is just the initiative to make it, not that can start from the citizens. But my project is a physical fact. So the Cardano is for fund. This is regarding the funding system, the fundraising, and not then it will work by itself. No, it's a physical. It's not actually something regarding the metaverse or something regarding the. So it's partially in the blockchain and partially in the real life, because waste management is. So this is the only concern. Oh, sorry, I interrupt. I thought you were
individuals, and then they are for whatever powers that they have or they seem to possess, it was given to them by the citizens. You understand? So we want to advise people that don't only think about okay. So once you read the proposal, the challenge, the first thing that we know will actually click to you is that, okay, so I need to develop a decentralized application, which is going to provide or help the marginalized people with governmental services. Okay, like it needs to give them access to government services, okay, without having to pay that much for. And then also at the end of the day, it is expected that government must adopt this particular solution before it becomes a success. That is exactly what comes to mind immediately we read this whole project, okay, or proposal. We understand because we set it that way. But now we are telling you that in Fund 8, we are telling you that you don't need to think that way only, because there are so many ways of killing a cat, and you can either attack this approach from the front, or you can either attack it from the back. And if I say from the front, that is where you maybe you have strong connections with the government, so you can just attack them straight up, and then they will approve of you, and then you begin to deploy or whatever. But if you don't have strong connections with the government, it shouldn't be a barrier. in a sense that you can reach out to the people with a solution, all right? So probably you can build your dApp, and then after doing your research and ensuring that okay, people would really patronize this particular project of mine. And now you come and write your proposal. If by the grace of God you are funded, you develop your dApp, and then you get back to the people that this is what I said I was going to do. So now I've done it. So you guys should start adopting it. Then you teach them how to use it. So if they begin to adopt it gradually, okay, as time goes by, the government will realize that okay, so something like this is actually going on. And they can't just come and scrap it off, because if you scrap it off, you are telling the people that you don't like what they like as a government personnel. And trust me, in elections, they are going to vote you out, basically. So no government personnel will want to find him or herself in that seat. So what they will do is just come and endorse it, and then congratulate you for what you have done. So you might want to attack the problem from the back, or maybe from the front. Any way you choose to do, it's allowed. It's dependent on you. Okay. So we don't want people to feel limited that okay, so I need to convince the government anyways before my project will be a success. No, we want to give people the edge to try different means of killing this particular problem. The most needful thing is being able to build the dApp that is going to provide the services, the governmental services to the less marginalized people. That is the most needful thing that we are really looking at. Okay. Yeah. So now let's just take a look at the metrics that we will use to measure the success and impact of nation-building dApps. Okay. So first, we want a large number of proposals to ensure there are enough quality projects to make an impact. We are very careful about the term impact, because that is what we are looking for. We are really looking for the impact. And then also proposal CA ratings are very important in getting the proposal approved. And we on the challenge team look forward to working with our proposals to ensure the proposals are well written, and then it meets all the criteria to be successfully approved, basically. And then we're also looking at the diversity of dApp use cases, okay, because they are very important to us. And then we are meeting the needs of nations and not just a select few. Okay, so just as I said earlier on. And then we want to make sure our proposals have an effective commercial approach and negotiation strategy with the government they are working with, so they are well prepared for those important discussions. Okay, so just as I said, you can start from the top or you can start from the bottom. But if you start from the bottom, you try and build some connections along the line, because definitely you will meet with the government from time to time. Okay, so you try and build some connections and some commercial approach, which are very effective, so that when the negotiation stage sets in, you are good to go. And then we also seek extensive participation of Cardano's local community centers to help with widespread adoption of the dApp. So if there is any, Cardano local community in your country, we encourage that you partner with them so that they can help you with wide scale adoption of what you have actually built. Okay, so you need to look out for that as well. And then we also rely on participation and partnership with other international organizations that are aligned with our core beliefs of helping others to achieve sustainable prosperity and leverage these relationships to increase adoption. So you can also think about some, international organizations, like for instance, international organizations that have keen interest in helping the less marginalized personnel to also get some sustainable prosperity. Basically, you can look at these people. So in a proposal, you can, before you even write it, you can look out for some partnerships like that, and then include them in your proposal, and it will make CAs rest assured that okay, you are good for the job. You understand? And then also your proposal.
Can I share something?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Right. So I didn't understand the full extent of the proposal because the audio wasn't very clear.
Yeah,
but the best thing that Marcelo can do, what you can do is you need to carefully go through the criteria for a nation building dApp, because these are usually things that look at a large nationwide problem and seek to solve it. So if your waste management is a large nationwide problem, which it could be, it needs to have the solution in a way which will resolve it at a nationwide level. It doesn't need to be at a nationwide level at the start. You can start from one town or one village or something.
Community.
Yeah, but it has to be able to scale to get to the nationwide level relatively easily. That is the criteria of it being a nation building dApp, because otherwise it could be more suited for another category. The important thing is not, I mean, your proposal is good. The only thing you need to figure out is this the best challenge for the proposal? Because however good it is, if it's not fitting into the particular challenge, then under the assessment, you will get lower marks rather than if you had found the exact right challenge for the proposal. So that's one way.
In fact,
the second way is you can take your existing proposal and you can adjust it in order to fit a nation building criteria. So let's say right now, if you think, okay, it's not fitting perfectly into the nation building criteria, but you know there is a way to tweak it. If you tweak it, you can get it to fit within the nation building criteria. Then you can adjust it to fit within the criteria. Usually nation building dApps are considered larger scale, more longer term, involving lots of stakeholders, usually involving some form of local government, kind of things. So if the waste management proposal can be tweaked to fit into those sort of criteria and to involve those stakeholders, then it can be shown to qualify as a nation building dApp. Now, having said that, what is a nation building dApp in one country may not be a nation building dApp in another country, because the problem in this country is not the same as the problem in another country. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. Thank you for the feedback.
So your problem to me, I'm not saying it is or it isn't. That's something you can figure out.
Yeah.
So that is the best way to go about it. Once you have your proposal, now you have seen the structure of the proposal, right? So first of all, whichever challenge it fits into, you need to put that structure down in as much detail as possible. But once you do that, then you can adjust to which proposal challenge category it's fitting into. But to decide which challenge category it's going to fit into, the best thing is to go through, I think Nana said it already, to go through the criteria for each challenge and see whether it fits. Sometimes it may not fit into a particular thing, then you may want to put it to the miscellaneous challenge. Otherwise, if it's fitting to nation building, you can keep it there. Or if you need to tweak it to fit into a particular criteria, you can tweak it and then get it to fit, because the CA's job is not to evaluate the value of your proposal. All proposals are valuable. CA's job is to evaluate whether your proposal is fitting into the particular challenge criteria.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Thank you for the feedback.
And just to add to what Dimitri said earlier, if you are going to compare to make sure that yours is fitting in, you may want to pay attention to the various metrics that we are looking for, and then like basically just try and read our challenge setting very well, try and understand it, and then once you understand it, you should be able to click to your mind that, okay, so this one I think I'm fitting it very well. Otherwise, you can also look at other challenges and then go through. And then if you are finding a little bit of a difficulty, you can also read the proposal that got funded under this particular challenge, because if they got funded, it means they have been able to pass good scores and they had good ratings at the community advisor bureau, and then they have been able to pass through. Voters have believed in them and then they have voted for them. So it means if you are to read their proposals, at least it will give you a clear mind of, or a clear idea of what exactly you can actually put in nation building dApps and then get funded, basically. So once you're able to do that, I think you'll be good for fund 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just share the link to this particular to the slides. I think from the slides you get a link to all the projects who got funded under this particular proposal, which is Nation Building Dapps Challenge. And then you begin to read through from there, and then we will be on guide as well. If you need any assistance, you can just contact us via Discord or Telegram, myself or Dimitri, and then we will surely be glad to help you out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just a minute, let me just copy the link to the slides and then share it with you.
It's arrived an email from Project Catalyst. No. Is it? No.
Okay, so I think let me put it in there, and then we'll end the meeting. Okay, so the link is in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I've taken the link to your proposal as well. I'll have some time to read through, and then I'll give you feedback. Maybe on idea scale. Yeah, I'll give you feedback on idea scale, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, so you can give me a feedback on my idea. That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll read through and then give you feedback on idea scale.
I also added you on the Telegram, so I am in the chat.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. I have this link. Well, I will read it. Presentation. Okay. Yeah. Well.
Sure. So yeah, maybe we can end it here, and then we'll continue later, maybe on Telegram or so. Yeah. So it's rather unfortunate. We're actually expecting a lot of people to show up, but it didn't happen as such. Maybe hopefully in the next iterations we'll have a lot of people showing up in the various breakout rooms to have a discussion. But it's all good. So yeah, let's just jump back to the. You're welcome, and thanks for showing up too.
I will check it out. Well, I hope to keep in touch.
Sure.
Well, see you next time.
Sure. See you too.
Bye. Bye. Ciao.
Bye. Bye. Okay, so Richmond, you can stop this recording now, please. And then we'll go back to the main room.
I'm where are you?